For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach give us that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach give us that order.
Our people, man, give me Micah 4th chapter, man, from the top, dog. Give me Micah the 5th chapter, brother, from the top, dog.
Micah 5?
Start at 4. Just give me Micah 4. Start from the top, Micah 4. Go ahead.
The book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established.
And that's the whole point. The brother made a good point. The brother makes good observation. It's just once we get the understanding of the Bible and couple it with that, we no longer have that fear. You see what I'm saying? Black people, we get things and then we fear the so-called white man taking it away because that's been our nature. That's been the course of things our entire lives, right? Which, when you understand our entire lives, is a small, finite amount of time compared to the history of the world. And that's why the OG before said, hey, he says, I have a degree in black history. I believe that you do, brother, but how are you applying and utilizing that in order to push us forward in the world today? Okay? So it says that in the last times, in the last days, the mountain of the Lord is going to be established. Because that, when the mountain of the Lord is established, that is our dominion. That is our kingdom. And nobody is coming up against the Most High. Remember that, including his own people. Because when his own people come up against him, what happens? He brings them down very low. So we're not going to suffer and go from that again. Go ahead.
And the top of the mountains, it shall be exalted above the hills.
The mountains and the hills spoken of in this chapter is dealing with the governments and the nations that have that authority and rulership. His kingdom, the Most High Yahweh's kingdom, is going to be established atop of all of those. Read.
And people shall flow unto it.
And it's going to cause a bunch of people that are now subject to the ways of the Most High to flow and come and give reverence and respect to the mountain and the glory of the Most High God via what? The children of Israel. Who are the children of Israel? You black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Read.
And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord.
And a lot of these nations are going to want to come up to the mountain of the Lord and serve him. Read.
And to the house of the God of Jacob.
And they're going to come to the house of who? Of the God of Jacob. Even during the time where the Lord's kingdom is going to be established, it's still going to be regarded, or he is still going to be regarded as the mountain or as the God of Jacob. It's very distinct, it's very possessive, it's very exclusive thing. Although other people are going to come unto him, he's still going to have a special place of reverence, and he's also going to have an authority and a hierarchy. He's going to put his people on that pedestal. Hold your precept. Go ahead.
And he will teach us of his ways.
And listen, and we're going to teach these people how to serve the Most High properly. Because at that point in time, you black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are going to regain that understanding and that knowledge of how to do so. And that's, again, what a lot of Christians speak about, how the Israelites are going to be a light unto the other nations. Bring your precept.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, and verse 16.
Bring it up.
And it shall come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people, to swear by my name.
If they, the heathens, would diligently learn the ways of God's people, the children of Israel, you black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, if they turn around and learn our ways. This is why when we read in Isaiah the 14th chapter, and it says that the stranger is going to cleave unto Jacob, not the other way around. So we shouldn't be learning their ways, they should be learning our ways. And if they do learn our ways, read.
The Lord liveth, as they taught my people to swear by Baal, then shall they be built in the midst of my people.
Then they're going to be built up in the midst of Israel. And people take that and say, see, this is salvation for everybody. No. It just means that in the midst of wickedness being in rulership and wickedness being dominant, a lot of people have fallen. A lot of people have become less of themselves. So when the true children of God, when the true people of authority that should be ruling and reigning on the planet Earth, when they get their authority back, everybody gonna win. It doesn't mean that they're gonna be equal to, it doesn't mean that they're gonna be on the same level as the children of God. Because people are gonna have to flow to the children of God, and they're also going to cleave unto the glory of God, which is his people, or his wife rather, Israel, right? Get that a man's glory is his wife. Read.
Verse 17, but if they will not obey.
But if they don't obey, let's see what's going to happen. Doesn't this sound like Deuteronomy 28 for heathens, right? If they follow and they cleave unto the children of Israel in the ways of God, then they'll be built up in the midst of the children of God. But if they don't, what's going to happen?
I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation.
Like he's going to do the children of Edom. He's going to pluck them up and he's going to utterly destroy them. And a lot of these nations is long overdue from being destroyed because God commanded the children of Israel to destroy people a long time ago. And it never got done. Read.
Saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. You got that? Bring it out.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 7.
Bring it out.
For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image of and glory of God, but the woman is the glory of the man.
And this is what's so crazy because it literally just says it right there. I tried to draw a connection to where the Most High calls Israel his wife, and it says that the glory of a man is his wife, but right there it says man is the glory of the Most High God. Simple and plain. And we understand who those men are, right? Go back to that in Micah. You got something?
Let me read verse 2.
Read.
The book of Micah chapter 4 verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth out of Zion.
Because the law is going to be dispensed out of or from Zion. Read.
And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
And the word of God is going to come from Jerusalem. Who's going to inhabit Jerusalem? The children of Israel, right? Who's going to take possession of Jerusalem? The children of Israel. That's going to be the epicenter of the righteousness and the wisdom of God. So people are going to have to come to us and cleave to us to get to the Most High God. As Christ is the door to the Father for the children of Israel, the children of Israel is the door to Christ and then the door to the Father for these damn heathens.
That's right.
Okay? They got an extra step. You know the security steps now, you got the two-step verification. You know what I mean? You got the text message, you got the PIN number, and depending on what device you got, you either got a thumb scan and a face scan. All right? It's going to be many levels and many avenues that the heathen has to go through to get to the Most High, but they're all going to be available. Read.
Verse 3. And he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off.
And the Most High is going to rebuke these nations, no matter how far off that they are, whether they're near or whether they're far. He's going to rebuke these nations. And how does the Lord talks about, or how does the Lord describe how he's going to rebuke them? By what? By the hand of his people, children of Israel, which is his battle axe and his weapons of war, right? So the so-called white man needs nuclear bombs. The so-called white man needs AK-47s and M14s, right? So-called white man needs 50 caliber hand pistols, a 50 cal Desert Eagle, right? Golden Tiger Stripe. That's what y'all need. The Most High just needs his people to fight against these other nations. And guess what? There is no weapon that is formed against you, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians that shall prosper. Read.
And they shall beat the swords into plowshares and the spears into pruning hooks.
Their swords is going to be beat into plowshares, and their spears are going to be beat into pruning hooks. You know what those are? Those are laborious instruments. Those are not instruments of war. Those are instruments of labor. Why? Why do they need instruments of labor? Why do these heathens need instruments to labor with? Because they're going to be our laborers. They're going to be our hewers of wood and our drawers of water. They're going to be our vine dressers. They're going to be our nursing fathers and our nursing mothers. We're going to put them in total subjection and in total servitude, and we're going to rule over these people forever and ever and even forever. Read.
Nation shall not lift up its word against nation.
And again, we should have brought this out to the brother when he was here, because his concern was whether or not when we take our rightful position back at the top, subjugate all of these other nations as a possession, servants and handmaids, that the cycle would then come back around and bring us back down. But no, when we get our dominion, when the mountain of the Lord is established atop of all mountains and hills, there is not going to be any remembrance nor any desire for war anymore. That's what righteousness is going to do to the earth. And we'll never receive or achieve that with the so-called white man being in power as he is now. Read.
Neither shall they learn war anymore.
They're not even going to learn or know war anymore. That's why they're going to take all of their instruments and our tools for war, and they're going to turn them into tools for what? For work. They're going to exchange war for work. And that comes with the respect that they're going to have for you blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? Read.
But they shall sit every man under his vine. And
Every man is going to sit under his vine. Meaning what? You know what? What connects the fruit of the vine, right? The vine itself. So all the people that are connected through a line or a lineage or a family tree or the branches thereof, they're going to cleave unto their own particular vine. Read.
And under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid.
And they're all going to sit under their own fig tree. Meaning what? They're all going to resort and disperse back to their own nation, back to their own lot that God gave them. Deuteronomy 32:8. Quickly.
Bring it out.
Everybody got their own lot, but for some reason, everybody's just been mingling, moving around, and being scattered to all the different parts of the earth, which the Bible says, woe unto him that keepeth himself not at home. Right? That calleth, or that removeth the landmarks and call lands by their own name. Just because you done moved somewhere, don't mean that that's what the Most High has allotted you. Read.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
We have to understand that God himself divided everyone their inheritance, including these nations. They got their portion from God. Read.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
At the time when he separated the sons of Adam, right? Because that's who we all come from. And from those people, from that man Adam comes all the people on the planet Earth now. And according to God, they have their own inheritance. So it doesn't mean, oh, I get to leave that now, go to another land, conquer it, and then I get to call them out. No. That doesn't now mean it's your lot, as the Most High has dispensed, going back to when he separated the sons of Adam. Read.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
And all of the bounds or the boundaries that were set for each nation was based off of what he was going to give the children of Israel. That's how he allotted it. He knew that from the Nile to the Euphrates, the land flowing with milk and honey that he promised to the children of Israel, he knew he was going to give them that. So everybody else got their portion based off of that already predetermined allotment and boundary. Read. Bring your precept.
Book of Genesis chapter 11 and verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language.
So everyone tried to just make everybody's language, everybody's land, everybody's heritage, all of the same thing. They're all one. We're all just going to share this abundantly and in equality, right? Everyone has an equitable stake in this thing that they call earth. They say there is no boundaries of land. It's just earth. There is no boundaries and separation of nations. It's just humans. Everybody's of one language. Everybody's of one nationality. Because again, the consensus of the world today is there's only one race, and that is the human race. Let's see what God says. Read.
And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech.
And the Lord says, what? I'm coming to disrupt that idea. I'm going to confound their language so that people do not understand one another, so that there could be a distinct difference between one people and another people. All right? It's not meant for everyone to just be on one accord, one language, so on and so forth. He confounded that, and he dispersed and gave everybody what their people was allotted and what they were determined or destined to possess, according to the predestinated plan of the Most High God. All right? Go ahead.
So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth.
And as he scattered them to all of the places that he allotted for them, based off of what he was going to give the children of Israel. Read.
And they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
And again, this is the Lord's doing, and guess what? It is marvelous in our eyes that he did so. And we thank the Most High God every day that the allotment we got and the allotment that he gave us as blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians was the allotment that he gave to his beloved and his holy chosen people, the children of Israel. Read. Go back to that in Micah 4.
Come on. The book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 4. I'll read it again. But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken it. For all people will walk, every one in the name of his God.
But in the midst of people returning back into their lot, in the midst of people returning back into their land, and the boundaries that the Most High God set up for them, they're also going to return back into their own gods. We have no qualm with that. We have no quarrel with that. We're fine with it. The Most High is fine with it. But that ain't got nothing to do with the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. We have other instructions. Read.
And we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever.
But we know what these other nations are going to do, but we are going to walk after the name of our God. Yahweh is his name. Read.
Forever and ever.
And that's going to be a perpetual thing, so like our kingdom. So if we're going to follow and serve after our God Yahweh forever and ever, we then don't ever have to worry about the cycle repeating itself for us to then go back into subjection under another nation, because the only reason why we were there was because of our wickedness and disobedience to God. Read.
Verse 6. In that day, saith the Lord, will I assemble her that hated, and
That what? Halted.
that halted, and I will gather her that is driven out.
I will assemble her that was halted, and I will gather her that was driven out. The her is the wife of God, the children of Israel. Read.
And her that I have afflicted.
And her that God has afflicted. Why was God afflicting his beloved or his proverbial wife? Was because of her wickedness and disobedience. The her is the children of Israel. The children of Israel is Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians today. Understand that. So this is why we've been being afflicted. That's why when we look at the lives of Black, Hispanic, Native Indian people, we sit here and often be confused and say, man, why are we going through those things? If we understood and took on that knowledge that was going to be increasing in today's times and also serve as our stability, then we would take back that understanding and we would maneuver correctly. Hopefully the brother Marquise is on the same type of time. Read.
Verse 7. And I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation.
I will make her a remnant, right? Meaning there's going to be a preserved of her that was afflicted, a remnant or a portion of her going to be reserved, and then he's going to make them what? A strong nation. Go ahead.
And the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion.
And in Mount Zion, from which the law and the righteousness of the Lord shall be dispensed from, he's going to rule over us. See what I'm saying? These things are specific to us. Read.
From henceforth, even forever.
From henceforth, even forever. That was the end of the chapter?
Verse 7.
That was the end of the chapter, man. So with that, let's recognize our people, you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, the position that we in and the opportunity that we have a lot more brothers and sisters like the brother Marquise that have developed a negative perception and outlook of this book, of our records. We have to learn these scriptures, increase in that knowledge, allow it to be our stability, and to build up the strength to get us to be saved up out of this place. Because until we correct the wrong understanding and give the proper understanding of our text and our records, our people are going to continue to walk around in their folly and in their confusion. In this current place, Babel. In this current place of Babel, the place of confusion. We got to bring the correction and we got to bring the clarity. All right, through the spirit and power of the Most High God, Yahweh is his name, and we do so in the name of his only begotten Son, Mashiach Yahushua. Kwame Yasharallah.
For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach gives that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach gives that order.